first of all, let's go to the drum example, which is provided by our beautiful Michael Glönckler, or as we call him, Michael Glönckler. Servus, hier an der Stelle, vielen Dank. Live recording drums, and what I want to show you is a thing that we didn't talk about yet, which is something that this compressor also has up its sleeve, which is called negative ratios. And this is something that is a blast having in this compressor. And this xpressor with the negative ratios can do some really beautiful destruction, which you can put underneath the drums to give them a full and punchy sound. Listen to what it does when it's engaged first. And from there, we would go into mixing it in and making it perfect. So that is the example. So first of all, let me show you something. I didn't change the setting whatsoever. And the drums sound exceptional. But that's not what I want to show you. Just for you as a reminder. Prior, it sounded like this. Much more control of every sound. Still punchy, but much more into control.
And not pumpy at all.
Yes, and you can embed it perfectly into a mix if you have bass and sort of things. But this is not what I wanted to show you. So let's disengage everything except the hit. Let's dial in a fairly amount of good compression. Something like this. We go for a neat release, something like this, that we can hear it. So, and now the beauty comes into play. Mix all the way up, as we say. And let's listen first. Now we are talking. You know how this effect, this breathing effect, there is some other compressors being able to do that, but not in that way. And now listen to that. Just give it a little bit of wet. Isn't it crazy? Can you hear that pumping, beautiful sound? But everything comes together, but you hear that smack. It's so massive. You know how that would sound in a recording? You would actually hear the drums rather than just have something washy in the background. And they are recorded really well. So that is before. Can we go back in time? Thank you. I had to do that. I was really hyped. I had to do that. But you get the idea. And now I dial it in parallel. And all of a sudden, it sounds so neat. Look at the gain reduction. So as a Ruben, I'm so hyped right now in showing. So maybe I say something totally wrong. Just correct me if I'm wrong. So basically, negative ratio means that the gain reduction is even below the threshold. Does it make sense? Thank you so much, my brother. It looks like this then. If you would have input and output. You know, this is like, as you know, a limiter, and this would be something like negative ratios, input, output.
If you engage in this setting, the auto fast, and then control the threshold, then you have the effect that maybe snare and kick is ducked down. Try this out.
Let's try it. Whenever you want to hear crushed drums, attack and release all the way down. You know what the problem about slow attack and slow release is when it comes to low end? Most of the times, the fast settings on attack and release, the compressor has a hard time, not this one, has a hard time to determine if it's a peak or if it's a sustained element, especially with peak dependent compressors. So it distorts. And that is the neat thing that we have. We have the auto fast, so we can really dial in fairly long attacks by engaging the auto fast, getting the overheads and the massive transients of the snares under control. So listen to that. Listen to the sound difference. You want to hear room? Do you have no overheads recorded, no room recorded? No problem. Here you are. Oh yeah, we have to. Whenever we have to laugh, that means it's amazing.
Guys, can you put it please in the full mix mode? 100%
sure.
Mix?
Sure, my brother. And I have to be careful. I have to be careful. Exactly. Thank you so much. Just use that one, put it underneath your drums, and forget the all buttons in. Oh God, I said it.
But I think here, this is what everybody likes to hear from a compressor, to smash everything, to hear that room. But there's another combination that's really nice. If you have a setting that is doing, let's say, 6 or 7 dB of gain reduction, and with, let's say, 20 milliseconds of attack, and then you try out the release, you can control the groove. And sometimes you can make a very fast groove to more slowly, more relaxed and enjoyable. So this is really interesting about the expressor, that you, with the release, you have some kind of a control about the groove of the drum kit. So this typical stuff is distortion stuff, and but I think if you need some more punchy and groovy drums, it's also possible with the expressor. So I would engage the auto fast and maybe engage the lock release. Find a setting where the gain reduction is about 6-7 dBs, about this, and I think it's super nice, punchy, and then with the groovy style in there.
Let's try it. You're a genius. You're a genius.
Put this release to in the middle. Or
let's try now to get it grooving.
Yeah, and then disengage the auto fast and until. So we hear the disengage these both.
Yes.
Also lock release. Also yes. And now that we have about 6 dB of gain reduction, then let's see if you try out the release here.
Yes. Yeah, it slows down like a leveler, right?
Yeah, so you have a control over about the groove. If the groove is a little bit too fast, you can control with the release and makes it more smoother and relaxing.
Yeah.
Because then in the, let's say the hi-hats in between are a little bit pushed back and not up front. And I think you can, it's a nice way. And then with combination with the warm mode, you have more low end. And so it sounds a little, it's a slower pace.
Yeah. Although it's a device not being intended to that, you can really make it sound vintage though. That flavor of that vintage, that's the beauty about that. That's the design. You are capable of not just being clean, you can really crush the shit out of it. So you have everything in one device. That's what he wanted to say. Because most of the times when people talk about elysia, it's always about that glassy, open, big, wide definition sound. But as you could hear in like 10 seconds ago, you can make a lot of things with this thing, just with one device. Combination of attack, release, auto fast, engaged, not engaged, logarithmic, release engaged, and the warm mode. Listen to that now. Let's give it that Motown-ish vibe. It sounds like effing tape. It really sounds like the tape sound we are used to here. You have this small bump, not that low, at 50 hertz or 65 hertz, depending on the IPS you're going for. But listen, and the formula, listen now how it sounds when I engage in it. Look how we started though, because our ears get really tricked by just hearing the compressed version. Now listen now. Now you get crazy. Vintage. Thank you, LA2. Yeah. Crazy, isn't that? One device. I see one device to rule them all. Yes, it is. But you see, like we have a genius like Ruben here with us. You have to really dig into these devices. Try different settings. Overdo it to understand what it's doing. If you're starting with 0.5 dB of gain reduction, you can hear shit. You know, you don't know what the device is doing. So our tip always in mixing and mastering, we provide those, squeeze it, that you understand what is this thing doing. You know, that's basically what's going on.